Monday, and welcome back to the Couchside Judges. I'm Scott Fontana. Follow me on Twitter at Scott_Fontana.
And I'm Dan Urban. Follow me at The Dan Urban. Follow the podcast at Couchside Judges. And subscribe to us wherever you listen.
And if you like this show, it's about damn time you gave us that 5-star review.
And as always, we talk judging in MMA, so head on over to abcboxing.com to read the scoring criteria. Wow, that was intense.
A little too forceful?
I was taken back.
All right. Listen. I don't want everyone to feel pressured to give that 5-star review. I try to be inviting. I try to be kind. Sometimes a little more, imperative here. Here I kind of made you go do it. So, maybe at this point is the time to do it.
Yeah, just do it.
You starting to tick me off.
Yeah, just
don't make me go all Jeff Jarrett here. Don't make me.
He is back.
What do you mean he's back?
He is wrestling again in AEW.
Do they ever stop? Do any of them ever stop?
He just showed up.
Do any of them ever stop?
AEW. And guess what he did? He hit someone with a guitar.
I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, never would have thought. None of them ever stopped. It's the same people. It's the same people we were watching 30 years ago.
You love it though.
But
meaning they love it.
Oh, okay.
That's why they keep
I was gonna say,
doing it.
I don't watch it anymore. I will say, if
yeah.
I was to ever watch again, it would be because they would put together the same thing that I watched 25 years ago. But also, maybe with less blackface and, stuff like that. Because that was, that didn't age well. Anyway.
They did some wild stuff.
Yeah, they did. I watched the whole thing. I know everything. Yeah. Lot of stuff just doesn't fly anymore. Anywhozer, we had a lot of fights end early on Saturday.
Yeah.
We do not have a whole lot of rounds to talk about. Spoiler alert. We only got 2 rounds for you for contested rounds. It was just one of those events.
Thanks, Sal, for giving us a show.
You know what? Thank you, Sal. That works. Yeah. Judge D'Amato was the out judge on 2 of these rounds. We're gonna get to them in a bit, though. We don't lead off with contested rounds. We gotta at least get it, wade into it a little bit, right? The result of the main event here being Amanda Lemos getting the win over Marina Rodriguez in what I thought was a fantastic stoppage by Jason Herzog, because it is clear that she is not fighting anymore. Now, I saw some people in the mentions on the social media being like, oh, yeah, no, she's putting her hands up. She's defending. Guys, you don't understand what intelligent defense is. If someone is punching you and your brain isn't there and your hands are up going, no, stop, and they're not really doing anything, you're not intelligently defending. Just because your arms are there doesn't mean you're defending.
And it's not like she was going to be much longer anyway.
Yeah.
So she was done.
Real dumb people. I got no tolerance for them today.
Yeah. Scott has a short fuse tonight.
I got a short fuse. Yeah. Brady, don't. You know what I said? Don't make me go all Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
It's a family show. I can't say it, but Anyway. But big win, mammoth win, honestly, because Marina Rodriguez was legitimately had a case before the title shot the last couple times around, realistically.
Mm-hmm.
Just not as, let's say, promotable as maybe some of the other contenders that they've had come in. Surprising that she would get not that, because obviously she has an actual win over her, despite what you think. Carlos Barza had the win over Marina Rodriguez.
Oh yeah, no, she didn't.
I know. I know where you stand there. We don't have to go deep into that, but this puts Lemos at least into the conversation. But they're selling it as like, oh yeah, she could be the late replacement, who could step in on short notice for the title shot. But who's sitting in the arena right there at the Apex watching was the woman who just recently beat Amanda Lemos, Jessica Andrade, former champion.
Mm-hmm.
Why would she leapfrog Jessica Andrade? I don't understand this.
No, I think you gotta go.
It's like they're just putting on like a charade of importance because this was the main event.
Yeah, I suppose
that's what it feels like.
Yeah, they want to have something that it means a little bit more.
It feels like one of those things they're gonna forget by Tuesday.
Could be.
I'm not saying we'll forget, because we saw it, but I think the UFC will probably just move on at some point pretty quickly.
They tend to do that.
Yeah.
So
this isn't nothing against Amanda Lemos, not at all. Great win, fantastic win. Keeps her right in that conversation.
Yeah.
To get back to, or not get back to, because she's never had a title shot, but stay in the hunt for a title shot. But she's still, let's say she's still in the queue.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and honestly, it would kind of bother me unless there was some sort of, listen, we need a body, someone's got to step in, and she just happens to be there, fine. These things happen in MMA, right? We see it. It's happened before. But on merit, she is in no way making a stronger case than Jessica Andrade. Not a chance.
Yeah, not especially since she won.
Yeah.
So
I would get very mad about that. Not at her. Not her fault.
yeah, I think
But at
Dean.
the UFC.
I think Dean Thomas was saying Lemos versus Rose next.
You know
I
what?
think that's what he was.
I like
was
that.
but
I like that.
But he's also saying, Rose doesn't always want to fight, so it may not line up when. But that's what he was suggesting.
Who knows? It's up to Rose if she wants to fight. I'm not making any judgments about whether she wants to or when she wants to or whatever. But when she does feel like it, this seems to be a fight that would make some sense because realistically, it's a fight that she could go in there and have a good time with too. And
Yeah.
I think she kind of likes doing that.
Yeah.
I think I saw her say something about she wouldn't necessarily want to have a third fight with Carlos Barza after the last one.
Well, yeah. I mean, you train. I don't know, 10 weeks hard. You're dieting hard for a fight. You show up on fight night and you don't have a fight because you have an unwilling partner.
Both of them were unwilling.
Pretty
that night.
much.
Honestly, Rose was less willing to fight that night.
Wrong.
100%.
Wrong.
100%.
Wrong.
We're about to throw down.
Wrong. Let's do it.
All right, maybe later.
Okay.
We got a show to do.
Yeah.
Let's stay focused. We're not breaking up like we almost.
You
did
know what?
a few
I'd
weeks ago.
also, if I had a fight
against me or in general.
No, just
Okay.
say I had an MMA fight.
Sure.
And I had a 10-week camp, 8-week camp, whatever. And I go out there and I knock the guy out in 7 seconds. I would be so upset that his glass jaw couldn't handle a single strike from me, and that now it's over. That much time put in. I didn't eat pizza for this long.
But what if
for a 7-second fight?
But what if you rationale that's what made you invincible, and now you just feel even more invincible?
I guess I don't know.
You could take that route with it, maybe.
So I'd feel like at least getting to use some of the things you trained would be more fulfilling.
No, I mean I get it. I think a lot of fighters probably feel that way. I think we've seen kind of the gamut of reactions from fighters in situations like that. Like I think typically they're pretty damn excited because that means they're going to be getting that 50G.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, 50G is 50G, but it also should be a lot more by now. But anyway, it is a bonus, and I think you'd be pretty thrilled
I'd
if
be
you
happy
got
with
a
the bonus,
yeah,
but I'd be upset at my opponent.
I understand.
Yeah.
But what if they miss weight and you also got more money from
I would never turn down a fight because a guy missed weight. Give me all your extra money. Because it doesn't matter anyway. We're gonna be totally different weight anyway. So it means nothing.
Sure.
Let's get back on track.
Yeah, I don't really know how much more we need to kind of go into the what comes off of this event.
Maybe Yan Zhou versus Amanda Lemos, my last one.
Oh, okay. We're still
beat Mackenzie
matchmaking 115.
Yeah, I love matchmaking.
All right, I know you do. You want to be Joe Silva.
I'd be a great Joe Silva.
Yeah.
Yep.
Be an irritable little man.
I'd be like, you're the champion. What do you mean you're not fighting 6 times? Aljo, you're only going to fight 1 time this year?
My understanding is it was probably the other way around. Fighters being like, yo, when I kind of fight? And they're like, well, we don't have a fight for you yet.
Well, we have a fight for you, but we're going to pay you $12.
Well, there's that
for you.
Yeah. If you did that, you'd be a jerk.
Well, I bet.
If the shoe fits.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the only other thing I would say off of this one is Neil Magny getting a nice win.
That was good.
Earning the most victories at welterweight now, passing GSP. So now he's obviously the greatest welterweight of all time. I believe is the math.
That's how it works.
No disrespect to Neil. I had a nice conversation with him recently, but I mean, this is a terrific accomplishment nonetheless. A sign of his staying power. And when I asked him one question too was would you want to stick around and maybe get that all-time fights record, which currently Jim Miller has in climbing? And he's like, yeah, I'm up for anything that gets my name in there, grows my legacy and that kind of thing. So yeah, who knows? Maybe he'll go. Yeah. Look. I don't know how you feel about Neil Magny. I don't know if he's like one of your guys or maybe you don't like him, but like the fact that he fights all the time, you've got to like that.
Yeah, I love that. Anyone who wants to get in there and throw down often.
28 fights he's had in the UFC, just in the UFC.
That's impressive.
And he's only, I want to say he's
quietly did it.
I think he's 35, so he's really not that old at all.
I guess he can keep going as he keeps himself healthy. Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? He just picked up a really good win, right? Do you like his call out, Gilbert Burns?
I think he'd get destroyed by Gilbert Burns, but I'm down to watch it.
I think it'd be a fun fight. I don't know how it goes. I think it'd be a fun fight.
I kind of feel
Gilbert Burns is a terrific fighter, but he's got a lot of size there. The Neil Magny being long and big, I think that at least adds something to the puzzle.
And Chiesa was long and big too.
Sure.
That did not go well.
I understand,
but
you never know. Different. Hey, styles make fights, my friend.
That's for sure.
MMA math doesn't work. Put your MMA calculator away.
Right.
It's not working. You need to change a battery. All right, I think that's, everything else was like, there was obviously a ton of finishes and it was fun, but like, yeah, not a whole lot of, let's say, fights of importance in terms of the greater picture going on.
Yeah, nothing.
It really wasn't like that.
Some fun fights though.
But
fun finishes, but
that's what I just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just it was just a card,
Hey,
really.
just some fights.
Yeah,
But they were good fights.
Yeah.
Anyway, and there were only 13 rounds that we ended up having scored from the judges. 11 of them were unanimous, so it's a good 84.6% unanimity.
Above average.
Yeah, no, it's well above average. I think it's about 7 out of 10 rounds is typical.
Yeah.
So we're at 8.5 out of 10. That's pretty good.
Yep.
Got that half round right.
You gotta have that.
Not how it works. Not how it works. That's not how it works. There was one round though that, even though it was not a contested round, I think it felt like something we should go over because it was stemming off of a conversation that it was actually first going on between Aaron Bronstetter, good friend of ours.
Mm-hmm.
We had a night. I mean, I don't know how he feels. I think he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
We had a nice time with him up in Niagara
For
at
sure.
the ABC conference. So he knows his stuff with judging, absolutely. But he was saying something about kind of the way, if you go by the written words of the criteria, that you can give the first round of Grant Dawson versus Mark O. Madsen.
Mark Madsen.
Not Mark O. Madsen, not Mark O. Madsen. Or Mark O. Madsen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Mark
Madsen.
Just Mark Madsen. We can do that.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's allowed. Yeah. That fight, first round, he was saying that by kind of the letter of that, you would give the first round to Madsen because he had, the higher damage that in the early part of the round before, for the rest of the round, Grant Dawson has his back basically for 4 minutes in a body triangle, like a tight one.
Yes. I will say this. I will say, without doubt, Mark Madsen has the most immediately impactful offense of the round.
Sure.
But
it is not sustained, right?
He drops him. It wasn't a bad drop, though. It was kind of just kind of fell backwards into the cage, squatted a bit, and then they got into a scramble. Madsen lands a couple shots here, but Dawson eventually gets up and, like you said, gets the back, locks in the body triangle. He does some pitter-patter shots. He's trying to get the neck. But you can tell Madsen doesn't like this one bit. The body triangle absolutely is the most miserable position to be in.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine being stuck here for 4+ minutes, defending your neck, eating some annoying punches here and there. They weren't great shots, but you're still getting punched in the face here. I can't give the round to Madsen off the media. I mean, I think the fighter I'd rather be in this sense would be 100% Dawson. If the situation was like, say, do you remember Sylvia Couture? How Randy has the back for basically the same amount of time as this round?
Yes.
But he doesn't have a body triangle.
But he's the one who scores more or less the knockout.
Right, yeah, but leave that part of the round aside.
Okay.
Just think of the back where he has the regular hooks. He's attacking nothing. He's not throwing punches. He's not doing really anything. And Sylvia's just holding on to his hands for the whole 4 minutes. In that sense, I probably would give the round to Madsen. Because at that point, it's just Couture holding position. He's not doing anything with it. I think Dawson had very much effective grappling here.
I think he did, but also the body triangle is really what makes this a lot easier to go his way because it is a form of damage being done. It's not necessarily, it's more cumulative, I guess you could probably say.
It's horrible.
Oh, it's horrible. It's absolutely and I don't want to take Aaron out of context, and this is not to be critical of Aaron. I really just thought this was an interesting interaction that I wanted to share and talk a little bit about, just because obviously that's what we do, right? Mm-hmm. But he was saying that if getting Madsen's, this is directly quoting, if getting Madsen's back is merely a change of position, as written in the criteria, no damage is being landed, no submission attempts, and the round is being scored on effective striking and grappling, the fighter who landed effective offense should get the round. And that's why he's making the argument, more or less, that you could potentially give this one to Madsen here. Well, I do disagree. I just think the body triangle has to be graded a lot heavier. It's really not just like a change of position. Especially when you get to the back, it's a position of dominance. It's the final position, pretty much. Yeah,
the act of getting to the back is I think we interpret that a little differently. It is effective grappling, getting there.
Yeah, I would agree.
So
Even if it's just technically it's a change of position, it's a change of position to the most dominant position, especially with the body triangle. The only way it could be better is if he had him, flattened out the other way.
Yeah, straight, yeah.
That's really the only way you get better from there.
Yeah, there's no further really improvement to that.
And he
position.
isn't just holding on, like you're saying. There's not. This isn't just someone who's kind of holding the position and kind of biding his time. I mean, he's having trouble getting what he really wants out of it.
And Madsen wants out. He's attempting to escape almost this entire 4 minutes.
Which is a sign of this is effective. This is working. He's not just riding it out.
Yeah, it's not like he's like, yeah, okay, let me just hold on here and just make it to the end. He wants out, and I can't blame him because anytime someone gets my back, I don't even defend my neck. Just do not put me in a body triangle. Like, take my neck if you want it.
It is a miserable position. Yes,
I don't want nothing to do with that.
Yeah. So again, this is not picking on Aaron whatsoever. I have a ton of respect for Aaron. I just thought it was an interesting conversation that we should have because he is someone who took the class with us, understands judging at a much higher level than I think a lot of people do. And it was worth having that conversation. Obviously he's not a part of this conversation, but I thought we should share that and highlight that with people. I think I had another interaction with somebody kind of related to this. Who
I think I saw that one.
Yeah, that they were not particularly kind to the idea that anyone could give this round to Madsen, and I didn't want to loop Aaron in. I thought it was best to just leave him out because he gets way more tweets than I do. He doesn't need it. But more or less the idea that was kind of being shared from this person is that, okay, I can't understand why you would give it there, but if you would, I guess it's because of damage, right? One thing that I keep hearing when we hear conversations about the scoring, especially from the UFC commentary team in like recent months when they seem to have had their education and gone through everything, right? They do seem to highlight often how damage is the number one criteria, right? We hear that. Damage is the number one criteria. That's not exactly right, It
Right.
isn't. It's the number one when you're trying to come up with a 10-8 nowadays.
Yeah, damage
that's
is
the way
king
that just. But
for that.
But when we're trying to evaluate a round, just a straight round winner, it's not necessarily damage. It's effective striking and grappling, right? Which, can you conflate the two? I mean, yes and no. I mean, the problem is we do have a term that we're using for kind of a different thing, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. The thing is, usually, I think it's safe to say, usually the most effective guy is doing the most damage.
That is often the case there, yes, but it's effectiveness, right? Like your effectiveness in trying to end the fight, right? Now in that context, yes, maybe you can make
damage
the case.
is a byproduct of effectiveness.
Right. Okay. If you can, maybe because of the effectiveness in terms of trying to end the fight, you can give the round to Madsen. I do see room for that. I wouldn't go there in this case because I do think the more effective grappling was done from Dawson compared to the effectiveness of the striking from Madsen, because Madsen really just had that little blurb. It's not like he was near a finish or anything. It was good offense, but it was just kind of a moment in time, and that was it.
But also, I've only heard Big John say this. You've heard me say that.
Go on.
The almost entirety of the round happened on the ground, so you have to weigh that heavier. According to Big John, who is a big voice when it comes to this stuff. I don't know how much that reaches out to other judges.
I feel like other judges aren't necessarily doing that anymore, because I mean I always think back to it was round 3 of Yana Kunitskaya against Ketlin Vieira, which was a round that very much was dominant on the grappling end from Vieira, and she lost that I believe on 2 out of 3 cards. I don't think it was a full sweep.
I think it was.
I think that was that was a contested. Is that right?
Eric Colon had it for
good memory.
Ketlin Vieira.
Good memory. Jersey, but yeah, that was a round that I think was a good sign of, and is that the rule or is that exception to the rule? I don't know, but that was a good sign to me that okay, it doesn't necessarily matter where the majority of the round took place. It matters about what was more effective in that 5-minute round, because that was a round different than this one in that Ketlin Vieira really wasn't in a super dominant position. There was obviously no body triangle in that one. One round isn't another round. Like they're all different.
Very hard to find.
It's like a thumbprint. Everything is different. That round was different because the amount of damage done was outweighing a very a much smaller degree of grappling dominance from the other opponent. I think it was enough that could sway it in that point reasonably, even though it was a very small window of offense.
Yeah.
Here, I just don't see it. I don't. If it went the other way, I would definitely disagree. I don't think it's indefensible, but I would strongly disagree.
Well, when the round started, I said, "Oh, all right, what's Dawson gonna do here to make everyone say he won it?" And then I was like, "Okay, yeah, I see it that way."
Yeah. And then obviously he took over the fight from there. He did a really good job.
After that, it was.
I mean, oh my goodness, the calf kicks in that round. Or not in that round, but especially about round 3.
Round 3.
They destroyed his leg. He was done.
He
couldn't do it anymore. And then he got the choke. That was a really good performance from Grant Dawson. I'm really interested to see what he does. He impressed me in the previous fight against Jared Gordon as well. So that was a good win as well.
That was solid.
I think the one thing with him that people were concerned about was his cardio. And his cardio really seemed to hold up.
Well, doesn't he always find himself in the crazy firefights, typically?
Not always. I don't think Kim versus Gordon was like a firefight. But you started to see him almost fade a little bit, but then he actually managed to get the finish in the 3rd round. So I think he seems much better, by the way, now that he's at 55 than 45. Now he missed weight. Apparently this was a short notice, right? He was saying, like, hey, that's on me. I'm not gonna make a habit out of this. Hopefully he doesn't, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter anyway. You just hurt your pockets.
But he is a massive 55. He was a huge 45. I don't know how he's.
You know who's a big 125?
You talking about?
He weighed in at like 178 pounds.
Oh, that was a joke. He was trolling. Nate Maness was trolling. No, I said he was juggling 3 bowling balls. Yeah, he actually liked that one. I got it was a joke. Not everybody did first. Of course, is it a joking matter? I don't know. I mean, he's healthy, but like Jesus, the amount of weight these people lose, Jesus. Anyway. Let's move on to the actual contested rounds. And again, shout out to Aaron. He does a great job in raising awareness for the right conversations about judging. I think even in this case, even though I respectfully disagree, it was nice to see him actually having the positing it out there. He's not saying he's an authority on this one, but he's kind of thinking out loud, and I really respect that. So shout out to Aaron. Keep doing the great job. Let's get to these contested rounds, though. 2 of them, like we said, only 2. But in both cases, Sal D'Amato is the outjudge. So let's start with the main event. And it was the first round of this fight. Amanda Lemos, of course, got the win in the 3rd round. TKO, good stoppage, like we mentioned, over Marina Rodriguez. But round 1, not very eventful.
It is very much a feeling out round.
What a terrible round.
Right? No one's really engaging. And when they do, it's just a few single strikes thrown. Nothing's really landing. I think in the first 2 minutes, Lemos lands a nice jab and a leg kick, and Rodriguez lands a leg kick. Nothing really more happens in that first 2 minutes.
Really puts the lame in Lemos. That was good, right? You like
that was a solid.
Thank you.
There you go. Yeah.
Tip your waiters.
They have some flurries, but I don't really see anything landing in these flurries. I feel Lemos got one right hand through, but both sides really are missing and catching a lot of leather, it feels. Lemos does land one solid leg kick that spins Rodriguez around. And in the final 15 seconds, they get into a clinch scenario that ends on the ground. And Rodriguez lands a couple punches, but I don't think she landed much else at all during the fight. She kind of just kept trying that teep that never connected, or the John Jones oblique kicks that never connected. The strikes at the end, they were okay lands. So I understand scoring it for her, but the fact is this is a low output round, I just think Lemos had enough leg kicks and landed the more quality strikes. So I'm going 10-9 Lemos.
Honestly, this is not the round that I'm going to die on a hill for starters. I just want to get that out of the way. However, whatever I say about this round, I don't care that much. It's just not one of those rounds. Like, no one took this round.
Yeah.
No one can get up in arms about this round. If you do, you're crazy. Get out of here. But having said that, I went the other way. I went for Rodriguez. Maybe I'm discounting what Lemos did for the rest of it, and maybe I'm allowing for the fact that what happened in the final 30 seconds or so of Rodriguez was enough to take the round. I do think, though, you have to account for the fact that not only is she landing those strikes, she does get to a position of grappling dominance in the process, and I think there's something to be weighed there too. I'm grasping for straws in this round, guy. This is not a round where there's a lot happening.
I felt there was more. They get into a clinch scenario, and it kind of half guard pull, half takedown.
Well, at first it was, but
scenario
then she moves in a little bit
And
more.
then
She advances a little bit.
She wraps up the neck a little bit, like I'm gonna guillotine
I
you.
don't
And you're
count
like,
that one very
"No,
much.
you're
No,
not.
but
No, you're not.
she gets
No.
to at least a decent position, I thought, and I think that was enough for me again because
Okay.
there's just not a whole lot happening. So
This was a bad round of fighting.
it
was a feeling out.
Again, I stress this is not the round I'm dying on, but I
Yeah.
did go the other way. I went with the majority here, Derek Cleary and Junichiro Kamijo. You had it the same way as Judge D'Amato, so respectfully disagree. I hope we never talk about this round again. The other round, though, is earlier in the card, prelims. Johnny Munoz got the 30-27 twice and a 29-28 over Ludwig Scholinian. I keep wanting to say Shinalinian, and that is not right.
Typing this name was so difficult.
I had to copy and paste this because it messes with my head.
Yeah.
So there's a few names that I do that with. Honestly, I can spell Jedrzejczyk, Jedrzejczyk really easy. This one messes with my head.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Nonetheless, big win, clear win. Only round 3 is up for debate here. Doesn't matter who wins this at this point, but we talk about these rounds every week. We're going to talk about this one here. We didn't have too many. Might as well get into it. What happened here in round 3?
So much to the opposite of the previous round. This was a very fun round.
Mm-hmm.
Sholinian, I think, is landing better on the feet. Of course, he's missing a ton throwing haymakers, but the ones that get through are a little bit better than what Munoz is landing. And contrary to what Cruz is saying, I don't see that many landing for Munoz. I do not think he's outstriking him in this portion of the round, like Cruz is saying. Munoz shoots a double.
Cruz said it's Munoz, by the way.
Munoz.
Like a cow goes moo and it has a nose.
Oh, does the N have the tilde over it?
I'm almost positive it
Okay.
does. So, and I just Dominic Cruz. Munoz. Come on, guy. Anyway.
Yeah, so Munoz shoots a double, and Sholinian lands a bunch of these decent Travis Brown-style elbows before being taken down. Once it's on the ground, Munoz has a couple strikes here and there, and then they get back on the feet. And I think Sholinian is continuing to do a tad bit better on the feet. But then he gets taken down, and Sholinian again starts landing these elbows while he's on his back, but Munoz is, he's trying to get to the hips, passing him a little bit. And eventually Munoz does get them out. And here from him, he lands some pretty good shots here as the round ends. I think that final sequence pushes it over for me. For Munoz, it's super close round. A good fun round, but I'm on 10-9 Munoz.
I also am on 10-9 Munoz. Yeah, he took it late. That was really what it came down to. That was there you go. That feeds into the Dominic Cruz narrative that you can win the round with a late flourish. What have we been saying all along? Who knows judging in MMA better than Dominic Cruz?
Although Diego, that was a Diego tactic. The final 15 seconds of making it look like you're doing something really awesome.
Yeah, but Diego won a bunch of fights that way.
I know, yeah.
I don't think that would fly in today's atmosphere. I think sharper judging and more focused criteria helps to alleviate some of the weirdness that used to happen in Diego Sanchez fights, or I can also throw another name out there, Leonard Garcia.
Yeah, Leonard Garcia.
He had a few of them too. I between the two of them, I feel like probably a lot of the judges at the time were like, man, we gotta figure this out. This doesn't seem right. Why are they winning fights? They shouldn't be winning these fights. So I'd like to think that they were the impetus for change. I'm gonna pretend that that's what it is. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just going. I'm gonna create my own narrative here. By the way, do you think Dominic Cruz, if he ever met Eric Colon, he would call him Eric Colon? I'm almost positive.
Cruz calls him that?
No, I'm saying, do you think he would?
Oh, I don't think he would.
I think he would. I think he has just terrible pronunciations.
But I think
I think he almost purposely does it. There's like a part of me that thinks it's like a bit.
I mean, it's got to be a bit with Bruce at this point.
Bruce, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. Who knows? Everybody loves Bruce, though.
He was a nice guy at Long Island. Took a picture with me.
You did? Oh, that's right. You did. I forgot you did. I took a picture of them way back.
He's cool.
San Diego.
Nice. See? He's a friendly guy.
Yeah. Whoever said he wasn't?
You just can't.
How many people do you see out there being like, man, Bruce Buffer's an a-hole?
I'm sure you can find it somewhere.
There's probably somebody.
There's got to be something.
Yeah, but
for the vast majority. No.
Yeah. You're gonna find someone out there who say everybody's an a-hole. There's someone out there who's like, man, Scott, your sons are just a-holes. And I'm like, no, they're angels. They're wonderful. But they'll be like, nah, I know. My children are glorious, by the way. Anyway, That is it. That's all the contested rounds.
Thanks for coming by, everyone.
See you later. No. No, that was good. That was good. But again, we had 9 finishes, 5 by sub, 4 TKO or KO, 5 ended in the first round. What was your, I mean, as if I had to guess, but what's yours?
Well, for the second week in a row, we get another Dan Miller team. Tamir Ulanbekov over Nate Maness, trying to, a little bit better than Tresean Gores.
Okay.
He was getting closer to putting the ear to the chest. Not quite there yet.
This was a little more standing up, too.
Maybe next, yeah, he was standing up, same as Dan. Maybe we can get even closer this coming week. What do you think?
I'm thinking we saw the 2 that we're going to get for a while.
Okay.
That's what I think.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm good for a while.
Sorry, I'm raining on your parade, but
yeah. What's your next?
Just go watch the highlight again.
I will. What's your favorite?
Poliana Viana got the win, 47 seconds over Jinyu Fry. She kind of lit her up on the feet.
That was completely unexpected.
I thought this would be a competitive fight. I also didn't realize that Viana has so many finishes at 115 pounds.
Damn.
So good on her. Shame for Jinyu Fry though, because she is a legitimately talented fighter, but she's fighting up a weight she really ought to be at 105. And I'm gonna use this opportunity to stump again for 105 pounds in the UFC. I think we need it. I think it's time.
Yeah, why not?
There are enough fighters out there that would go down, and I don't think it would cannibalize 115 pounds too much. But I would rather have that division than, honestly, I would trade 135 and 145 when Amanda Nunes is done fighting. We'll wait we'll wait her out. I think I wouldn't want to push her out the door, but when she's done, I don't need 135 pounds anymore.
Yeah, they're not that many fights there.
You know who could probably still make 125 pounds? I'll bet you Juliana Pena can make 125 pounds.
Yeah, she probably could.
Who's left? I mean,
doesn't want to. But...
You know, no disrespect to, the women who are there, but like there are opportunities at the higher weight classes in some of the other promotions. Probably get even more money out there.
That's very true.
Just let the 105 pounders come into the UFC. 105, 115, 125. I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Be deep. I think there are a lot of fighters there. I think those are the 3 deepest classes that we're going to have, especially over time. So there's my soapbox.
Real quick, I want to mention Jake Hadley. That was awesome.
Oh yeah,
the elbows from the triangle position, and what doesn't come through on the broadcast is the elbow to skull sound that you get when you're cage side. From what I've been told.
Can you emulate that noise? Do we have that? I hope our Foley department catch that.
Yeah.
Right. You are a Foley department, and you have a concussion. Good job. He was hitting his head, by the way. But that's it. We're done talking about this. Again, fun event. Probably not going to remember too much of it though. Realistically, it was a fun card, and we're done. Looking ahead though, we have a big card, massive card at Madison Square.
Huge.
I still think this is a bigger, better, deeper card than what we had at UFC 280 just a few weeks ago. I think UFC 281 at Madison Square Garden is a deeper, better card.
Yeah. I mean, not the co-main, but yeah.
I know you don't like the co-main. Obviously, well, let's talk about the main event first. Israel Adesanya, Alex Pereira, 115-pound title, or 145. 185-pound title on the line. Yes. Third time's the charm. I got it. This obviously is a super anticipated trilogy fight, which most people didn't watch the first 2. But nonetheless, we get it here because this was in kickboxing and now they're over in MMA. I think the question that I want to ask you two is, what do you think? Do you expect Israel Adesanya to mix in grappling?
I would.
Do you think he'll I think as long as the fight goes more than 5 minutes, it's a good chance that grappling will enter. But do you think he'll go to it right away, or do you think he'll try to prove that he can still strike with him early too? Because I feel like there's going to be some ego there. He thinks he can beat him in kickboxing. He seems very convinced he can.
That is.
But is he just playing a game?
He's very tough to read.
Yeah.
Is he?
I mean, having interviewed him a few times, that is 100% true. He can be tricky.
I would love to see him grapple because I feel it would be very creative and unorthodox.
It is the path of least resistance, one would think, to victory.
I mean, but Pereira is very big and strong. So I don't know how easy it would be early. So he probably would have to try to wear him down a little bit, at least get him not thinking about it completely.
The other question is, how much does he care about the criticism that was coming his way over the last couple of performances, maybe not being as entertaining as people would have preferred them to be?
See, I could see him going 2 ways with that. I can see him maybe trying to just, point his way to a victory to say, F you. I'm gonna fight how I fight, and however I get the win, I get the win. Or I could see him trying to prove everyone say and going for a spectacular finish. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it going two ways for him, but I can also see Pereira knocking him out.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
I mean, there's no reason to think he couldn't.
I mean, he's done it before.
Or to even go, win a 5-round decision, maybe.
Yeah.
It's not crazy to think that. What if Adesanya's takedowns just aren't enough to get him down? What if Pereira gets a takedown? Let's not discount that potential.
And if he gets a takedown, Izzy's the guy that might get you a go-go. That's kind of how I feel.
Oh, please.
So.
Please. Someone give me a go-go plata. Anybody. Anyway. But honestly, I think this little conversation, it just highlights how fascinating this fight is in a lot of ways. I'm very interested to see how it plays out.
Yeah, this is a fight I'm interested in for. If someone's cut, pretend you're in Vegas, not in New York.
Oh, I see. So you're telling the doctor who lives in New York to stay home.
Just relax.
Okay.
Let him fight. We got to settle this.
Boy, that would be disappointing, huh?
Nate was just getting going.
I know. Yeah, right on. Anyway, the other fight, the one that you were not looking forward to, champion Carla Esparza defending her title against Zhang Wei Li.
The fight why I'm not spending $500 to go see it.
This is the reason you're not going to the Garden.
This is, yeah.
Oh, my God. Guy, just go to the bathroom. Go get food at that point.
No.
All the other fights are great.
All the other fights are tremendous.
So you should go.
This doesn't deserve co-main billing.
But she's not getting gate. Who cares? I don't know why you hate her so much.
No, I'm that mean girl attitude. I don't dig that.
on the TV show that was heavily edited 8 years ago?
Yep.
Okay. I will tell you, I have spoken to her 2 times now. Lovely conversation each time.
All right.
No problems. She's the type of person, when she texts you back, she'll say, okay, smiley face. She always throw a smiley face in.
I don't know. Can't do it.
You never give me a smiley face.
Exactly. I mean, I'm not over compensating for my poor behavior earlier in life.
Maybe you should start overcompensating for your poor behavior earlier in life. It's about time.
Whatever this fight. Wiley's gonna win regardless, so it don't matter.
It would seem to be a tough one for Carla Esparza, but hey, I think a lot of people have counted her out over the last several fights, so we'll see, right?
Sure.
You can allow for that. It's in New York, these fights.
Yeah.
We're gonna have typical top judging come in.
Yep.
I imagine if I'm gonna guess who's on the title, let's say the main event. I'm gonna make a guess here at who's gonna be staffed, and there's no way to know it.
No.
They don't assign this until like literally the end of the week, unless I guess sometimes it is in the meetings. But
I used to remember we used to get like news articles like weeks in advance saying who's gonna be refereeing.
Well, sometimes it's on the docket for like the meetings and things like that. For title fights, it often would be. So it is possible that this is known. Having said that, I'm going to take a stab in the dark because I don't know, and I'm going to say Sal D'Amato, Derek Cleary, and Eric Colon.
That's who you got the main.
That's my 3. We'll see if I nail it. I'm not going for the co-main. I don't know.
I think Doug Crosby's going to be on one of the title fights.
I think Doug Crosby will also be one of the title fights. That is a good guess. That's a good guess. My guess would be on the other one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Got to give the judging genius some run. But there's a billion fights. Honestly, like you listed other fights here.
I almost did the whole card.
It's basically the whole card. Obviously, number 1 is Dustin Poirier against Michael Chandler. This is a fantastic fight. Poirier was supposed to fight at the Garden several years ago against your guy, Nate Diaz. It didn't happen. No. Is
that the fight? Did Jim Miller step in? Was Jim a late replacement in that?
No. What happened was it was going to be the main event at the Garden, and they ended up doing the short notice main event of DC defending his title against Derek Lewis.
Oh, I was at
that title.
One.
Yeah, I know you were. I was there. I saw you there.
DC threw his back out sneezing that morning.
Mm-hmm. As Sammy Sosa once did.
Yeah, company guy though. He went through the fight and won.
Sammy Sosa was a company guy too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just talking. But anyway, no. What happened with that one, if I recall, and this is in part, I talked to Dustin recently, and I asked him a question about it. I was saying, okay, I guess it was his hip that forced him out, and he said there was some stuff on Nate's side. They were kind of playing games with the negotiation or whatever, and then ultimately he's like, well, I'm just going to take care of this hip thing. So that's why that didn't happen, in his words.
Okay.
Nonetheless, I love this fight. Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier. It's got to be fireworks.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know if it's even going to last, but I think it's going to be fun. And I don't know who's going to win. But if Chandler wins, that's a big win for him. Poirier wins. I mean, shoot. How close is he to getting a title shot against the new champion, Islam Makhachev?
Yeah.
He never seems too far anymore, Poirier, because obviously he's got the cachet of beating Conor McGregor twice, which helps him with kind of the casual crowd. Mm-hmm. And obviously he is an accomplished fighter in and of himself. Anyway, he'd been the interim champion not too long ago.
And it's not like that's it's not a rematch versus Charles. It's a fresh opponent.
Exactly, it's a fresh opponent. Yeah. This obviously worked out in his favor. So very curious to see what'll happen at 55 off this fight. This is a big one. Big one.
Yeah, this will be a fun fight.
So is Frankie Edgar's final fight against Chris Gutierrez. I still wish it was some of these other fights we wanted. We wanted to especially against Dominic Cruz. Didn't happen. This would have been fun. It didn't happen that way. Nonetheless, I'm interested to see how Frankie can he go out on a win. I mean, this is a fight where he could get his leg chopped out because Chris Gutierrez kicks hard.
Yeah.
Also a Jersey guy, by the way.
I think
he doesn't live in Jersey anymore, but
he's right.
Jersey City originally, but he lives in Texas now.
Yeah, I think the venue was more important for Frankie than the opponent.
Yeah, I think so as well, and I can understand why. But yeah, I mean that's obviously on the card, and that's fantastic. Dan Hooker against Claudio Puelles. I like this fight. I like Hooker at 55 instead of 45, way better. Renato Moicano, Brad Riddell. That's gonna be awesome.
Be a banger.
Yeah,
of a fight.
Dominic Reyes against Ryan Spann. That's gonna be fun.
That should be another banger of a fight.
Reyes has local ties too. He went to I believe Stony Brook is where he played football.
Okay.
Yeah. He was a safety. But he said he's basically doesn't follow football anymore.
You know what? A lot of people who play don't care about watching.
Especially when they move on.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had some kind of pro aspirations for a little while, but he's now in the fighting world. He just kind of moved on.
It's weird. Derek Jeter doesn't watch baseball.
What does he do?
He's Mr. Baseball.
What the heck does he do?
I don't know what he does. But baseball's not his jam. Watching it anyway.
Does he go to Banff? I know they gave him a trip to Banff at one of his farewell tour things. Maybe Banff? Banff is it's a lovely place in Canada that I hear about.
Oh, okay.
I have never been. It sounds wonderful.
Okay.
And it's got a fun name, Banff.
All right.
Just say it.
Banff.
Right?
Bad.
Come on, it's fun.
That's an acronym for.
No, that's BAMF. There's a vowel in here. Banff.
Yeah, bad.
And 2 F's. BAMFF.
Oh, two M's. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No. 2 F's.
2 F's.
Oh, actually, I think it's Banff with an N. Now, if I have it right. Banff.
Okay. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, we got to move on.
Okay.
No one cares. Erin Blanchfield, another local. She went to high school in the town that I live in right now.
First, another local, Molly McCann.
Yeah, she's local. She's from London, or not Liverpool, excuse me. Right? She's a Scouser?
Yeah.
I believe so. She's definitely... Is Patty Pimblett going to be in-house to support her?
I thought he was going to be on this card. I found out tonight.
Yeah, he's on the next
card,
one.
The next one. Yeah.
On this fight that had been announced for earlier in the year and never actually happened against Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon's all over this episode. That's a fun fight, though. And the last one you put here was Andre Petrosky and Wellington Turman at middleweight. You like that fight?
I do.
Okay.
I like Petrosky.
All right.
I like Turman, too.
I bet you do.
So
honestly, what didn't we name? Like, at this point, what are we just...
Carlos Olberg he's... I think he's the opening fight.
Okay.
The prelims.
Against?
Pull
it up.
I will pull it up.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that?
Might as well get this in. We didn't have that much to talk about with the rounds and everything.
Because Olberg's coming off 2 wins. I think Fabio for sure.
But he won both of his most recent fights? I thought he lost one of those. Maybe I'm mistaken.
He is fighting Nikolai Negumereanu.
Oh, okay. Romanian, I believe he is.
Yeah, I mean, also Julio Arce is on this card. Montel Jackson.
Julio Arce, yeah, he's from Queens.
Carolina Kowalkiewicz versus Silvana Gomez Juarez.
Kowalkiewicz had a nice moment in the garden. She didn't win that fight against Joanna, but she was one of the title fights, the very first one.
Mm-hmm. Is that the one where she injured her eye? Or am I thinking of someone else?
Don't recall.
I know there was one she thought. Yeah. So anyway, Olberg is he won his past 2. Fabio Chiron and Tefan Nchukwi.
Okay. And that's everything, right?
That's all the fights.
Damn good card, top to bottom.
Gonna be an awesome.
Is there a weak link on this card? Is there a weak link?
One week link? Do you want me to find one?
I'm asking you. Oh, other than the one you'd obviously say.
But yeah, that. I mean, as Azatar versus Matt Frivola, that should be pretty good too.
Oh, Matt Frivola, yeah, he's also Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
They loaded up some local guys here.
I mean,
guys and gals.
Outside the co-main, I don't see much of any weak link fights here.
So what you're saying is it's probably worth $500 if you just go to the bathroom for one of the fights. Ah, you're so lame.
They could have done a different co-main.
So it's on principle, right?
It's very principle.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Based and cost
Well, granted, it's $500. I'm telling you to spend $500
to sit in the nosebleeds.
Yes, I agree with that part. If you were telling me that was the reason, I'd be like, all right, I get it.
That is the reason.
No, it's not. You just said the reason is the
I know,
fight.
but the reason is because it's too expensive. But I would consider that expense had we had a better co-main.
What if this fight just dropped off? What if there was just one title fight and then everything else was still there? Nothing else changed. Would you pay $500 for it?
I might check out SeatGeek, see what's going on.
So if this fight falls out on Friday for some reason,
no, I won't go. I have a dealing gig.
Okay.
That afternoon, which works out perfect, so I'll be home in time to catch
crack cocaine or
yeah.
Oh. All right, well, Dan's going to get ready to pass out drugs. We're out of here. We will talk again next week after this awesome card. Hopefully there will be some awesome judging as well, just like we had.
I think we will have some great judging and some great fights.
With the judging genius, I have no doubt.
Thanks for listening.
Take care, everybody.